Alright, so tonight was the much anticipated follow-up to WWE Monday Night Raw last week, where Daniel Bryan occupied Raw. We were all wondering what was going to happen tonight. Would there be anything as cool as that? We definitely got a show. Raw kicked off with Triple H, the COO, coming out to the ring and talking about his WrestleMania match and talking about how when everything is all said and done, the Yes Movement would be over and that this is all the WWE Universe's fault. Basically hyping the match at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. It didn't take too long until Batista came out and interrupted Triple H, getting in his face and asking him who he thinks he is for inserting Daniel Bryan and the possibility of Daniel Bryan into his match, and he didn't come back to the WWE to have people inserted into his matches like Daniel Bryan. Triple H responds and fires back, and then Randy Orton comes out, and he says he has to agree with Batista. The three of them are arguing, going back and forth. And Triple H it's basically just a burn segment where they're all just firing slams and bashes at each other, not physically, just basically insulting each other. Then Triple H just blows up and talks about how he's tired of Hollywood actors trying to come back to the WWE after being gone for 4.5 years and wanting everything handed to them. And he's also tired of people like Randy Orton, legacies, not even being able to win a match without Triple H holding their hands. He then drops the bombshell that there's definitely going to be a triple threat match in the main event of WrestleMania, but he says it won't be Daniel Bryan. He will be in the triple threat match, basically saying that if he beats Daniel Bryan, he will go into the triple threat match. So definitely a curveball. Didn't see this one coming at all. I didn't see this in any of the leaks or the dirt pages, so to say. Did not see it on any of the wrestling websites like the TPWW or anything that Ryan Clark runs. There weren't really a whole lot of matches on Raw. The Real Americans came out and they defeated the Usos, which was a surprise. The Real Americans they look like they're on the same page right now. That was a good match. A lot of back and forth. Exciting match. Sheamus defeated Titus O'Neil with a brogue kick and a St. Patrick's Day spectacular, which I don't know why they called it that, because there's nothing St. Patrick's-y about it. Of course, there was a Bad News Barrett segment after, Hornswoggle was passing out St. Patrick's Day things. I don't know why, because he isn't even the leprechaun gimmick anymore. He's just Hornswoggle. John Cena came out and addressed the Wyatt family and did that whole segment, which was, I was really skeptical about this whole John Cena Bray Wyatt feud and match. It was kind of pointless. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting kind of interesting. I'm kind of liking it. Cena basically said that he is afraid of Bray Wyatt. He's afraid of everything he says, everything he stands for, all of that stuff. But he said that most importantly, he's afraid that the fans are starting to believe everything that Bray Wyatt says. He's afraid of that. Wyatt and the Bray and Luke and Eric, they come onto the Titantron, the big screen, cut a Wyatt family promo, great back and forth, very, very Wyatt-y. Again, this is becoming an intriguing feud. Lots of very interesting things. The thing that I thought was out of place was the main event should have been Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton in a no DQ match, which took place in mid-card. Why they had that lower in the bill than a Fandango match, I will never know. It was a good match, the no DQ was. It started off slow. It started off really like it wasn't even a no DQ match. It just started off like a regular wrestling match. It's kind of boring as far as no DQs go. Then they brought the kendo stick out, which, they could have used more than a kendo stick and a chair, but it's not a hardcore match. It's a no DQ match. Outstanding match, but then again, Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton have faced each other so much that they have good chemistry and they know how to work a match to its fullest and get the crowd interested in the match and get them behind it. Daniel Bryan won the match after Batista came out and speared Randy Orton. Then Daniel Bryan got Batista out of the ring, covered Orton for the win. Again, this should have been the main event. I'm not sure why. Instead, they had a Fandango match, but before that, Paul Heyman came out, obviously introduced himself. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Whatever. Basically, hyping the Brock Lesnar Undertaker match. I mean, it's interesting, but I would much rather see Sting and the Undertaker right now, mainly because the WWE Sting's been trying to get signed by the WWE for months now. The WWE is dragging their feet on it, which I will never understand. They say he's not a money-making utility, or he's not a money-making draw. He's fucking Sting. Come on. Anytime Sting's on TV, people are going to watch. What better way to get more fans interested in WWE than bringing Sting into the WWE? Everyone in all the WWE universe, all of us wrestling fans, we love anything WCW related. We miss WCW. Had there been better direction in WCW, it would still be around. We'd have a great Monday Night War going on. But, oh well, we got Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker instead, which could still be a good match. Undertaker did not appear on Raw, which I thought he was going to. From what I've been told, or from everything I've been reading, Undertaker has been booked for every Raw from now to WrestleMania, so I'm not sure why he wasn't on here. Instead, he's going to be on Main Event tomorrow to answer Paul Heyman from tonight. Probably a scheduling conflict. Nothing new in that segment. The same thing Paul Heyman said last week and the week before and all that stuff. But anytime the Undertaker is on WrestleMania, anytime he's fighting somebody, they've got to do a lot of stuff to hype it, because he only fights one match a year now. Fandango and Goldust, it was a fun. Honestly, every time Fandango is on TV, I usually turn the channel because I just fucking hate that character so much. It's just annoying. And I don't know why they had him higher on a bill than the Daniel Bryan Orton match. But it was fun to watch. It was funny. Goldust kept mocking Fandango. Did the disco dance, Saturday Night Fever. It's fun to watch. Goldust ended up winning it. Of course, can't have Fandango beat Goldust. Come on. Kane came out to address the Shield. Or at least we thought he was going to address the Shield. Instead, he said that since the Occupy Raw movement happened in Memphis, that was Jerry Lawler's hometown. He basically blamed Jerry Lawler for it, and wanted the King to come into the ring to face his punishment and the consequences. And Lawler wasn't having it. Lawler wasn't going to do it. So the Shield came out and forced Lawler to get into the ring. And just when you think the Shield is going to, ambush and attack Jerry the King Lawler, of all people, a wrestling legend, that would make for bad TV, let's be honest. They turn around, they save King's ass, and they take down Kane. Kane's about to chokeslam Seth Rollins. Instead, Roman Reigns come in, spears Kane, and the Shield hit him with the triple powerbomb, which I don't agree with them calling that the triple powerbomb. A triple powerbomb to me would be 3 powerbombs. Powerbomb him once, pick him up, do it again, pick him up, do it again. Instead, this is a 3-man powerbomb. But maybe I'm too picky. After that segment, after we come back from commercial, we got the Funkadactyls, complete with Naomi. Naomi is back with a badass eye patch. Honestly, it looks a little punk, looks a little metal. Very cool. It's got the studs on it. Funkadactyl's take on AJ and Tamina Snuka. Again, typical Divas match. Nothing exciting at all happened to this match until the end when the Funkadactyls beat AJ and Tamina after the match. After the Funkadactyls leave, AJ goes off on Tamina, blaming her for every loss the two have ever had, basically screaming that every time Tamina's in the match, AJ loses. Every time AJ's alone, she wins. Tamina doesn't like it, and so she gives AJ a huge push, a shove, and knocks AJ on her ass. And AJ looks a little surprised. I'm not sure why, because Tamina's fucking huge and AJ's a fucking punk midget. But I like punk girls, so I like AJ. She gets that crazy look in her eyes, like she kind of liked it, and then we go to commercial. We kind of drop that. Next, we come back from commercial, and we've got the next WWE Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. T. Come on. We could have Scott Hall. We could have Kevin Nash. We could have the Outsiders. We can induct the NWO. Mr. T, I understand that he was a big part of WrestleMania history, but, I mean, he's not a wrestler. I completely disagree with anyone that's not a wrestler being inducted into a wrestling Hall of Fame. They can have an honorable mention for celebrities that played an integral role in WWE history, but I don't agree with this one. Not taking away from anything Mr. T did for WWE history, but, I mean, they could have made a better choice. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next, we got an 8-man tag. We got Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Mark Henry, and Big E. So, Big Show, Ziggler, and the world's strongest tag team. Versus Rybaxel, Sandow, and Del Rio. So a bunch of faces versus a bunch of heels, the way it should be. Good 8-man tag. They leading into the match, Big Show announces that he is going to enter the Andre the Giant Memorial Over the Top Rope Battle Royal. Longest name ever. Basically because his whole career he's been compared to Andre the Giant, which he has. He's kind of a new age Andre. Not many guys. I don't know. Honestly, don't think we'll ever see another Big Show or another Andre the Giant. Great Khali was close, and they started having him do the dancing stuff and the babyface stuff, and he, when Khali came in, he was, a beast. Khali is about as close as we're ever going to get, unless this giant from India who's bigger than Khali actually does come to the WWE, which they were briefly talking about. That's as close we'll ever get to another Big Show or Andre. Good match, very physical. At one point, everybody threw everybody else over the top rope. Ziggler, Big Show, Big E, and Mark Henry win. After Big Show hits the choke slam and on Sandow. Great match, fun. You don't see many 8-man tag matches anymore, so it was fun. After that, Renee Young caught up with Batista backstage. Basically says that he hasn't quit because earlier he was leaving and Renee Young asked what his thoughts were on Triple H entering the match, and he said that coming back was a big mistake, and he's back into the arena. Ray Young asked him if it's safe to say he hasn't quit. He says he's never quit anything in his life, which isn't true because he quit the WWE 4 years ago after the I Quit match against John Cena. But whatever. After that, we got Kofi Kingston and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wins, leading up to the Triple H Daniel Bryan confrontation earlier in the night. Triple H says he wants to talk to Daniel Bryan man-to-man, one-on-one, just to talk about things in the ring. Stephanie does not agree with this. She is not happy. She's pissed off about it. Basically saying that he's validating everything Daniel Bryan's done, that it's a bad idea, but Triple H says he's doing it anyway. He comes out and calls Daniel Bryan to the ring. Bryan comes out, and Triple H basically says that offers him his hand for a handshake and says that, nothing's been personal, it's all been business, and Daniel Bryan does not shake his hand. He won't do it. Obviously, good move. After that, Triple H says that he wouldn't blame him, and that if he was in Daniel Bryan's position, he probably wouldn't. He would have probably done the same thing, but worse. Basically says, everything I've thrown at you up to this point, I've thrown everything at you. I've put every roadblock in front of you. I've done everything I can to hold you down, but you're still standing here and you keep coming back. If anything, you've earned my respect. Which is surprising to hear coming out of Triple H's mouth. At this point, Stephanie comes out screaming, respect. You respect him. She presses charges on Daniel Bryan and brings like 8 cops out to the ring to arrest him. They surround him. They start beating him down and cuffing him. Triple H interrupts, asks Steph what the hell she's doing. That he said he had this and that this is not what he wanted. She, as Daniel Bryan's getting beat down and, basically getting the holy hell beat out of him by a bunch of cops with nightsticks and handcuffs, Stephanie and Triple H are screaming at each other outside the ring. Out of nowhere, Triple H just smiles at Steph and says, okay. And he comes into the ring and he tells the cops to lay off and back down. This isn't what he wanted. He says, besides, you guys aren't even real cops. And this is when it hits us that it was all a big setup. Triple H, this is where it gets ugly. Triple H proceeds to beat the holy shit out of Daniel Bryan while he's handcuffed and defenseless. This goes on for about 10 minutes. Raw actually went off the air about 15 to 20 minutes late because they aired the entire thing. Triple H just, took Daniel Bryan out of the ring, threw him into the stairs 4 times, into the barricades a couple, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, bashed his head onto the stairs, guardrails, barricades, announce table, all kinds of stuff. This went on for a good 5 to 10 minutes straight. The ugly part was when he rolled Daniel Bryan back to the ring, put his head against the ring post, and smashed it with a steel chair. Obvious concussion. I think Daniel Bryan may actually be hurt after this, because this scream sounded pretty damn real. After all of this, Triple H gives him the pedigree while still handcuffed. It was honestly a little hard to watch, even though wrestling is, quote-unquote fake. I think this falls under the category of shit that may have hurt more than it should have. Even Stephanie cringed a little bit after Triple H smashed a chair over Daniel Bryan's head against the ring post, but then she got that crazy, that kind of turned me on look in her eyes. After the pedigree, Triple H basically screams at Daniel Bryan, yells at the crowd, yells at the fans that this ring is his, everything is his, they own everything, and that there is no longer a yes movement. Stephanie dangles the keys for the handcuffs over Bryan's face as Raw goes off the air. Looking back at Raw tonight, it was not as good as Raw was last week. It could have been better. But, if you look at everything from the last couple months and look at the big picture, WWE television programming is improving. The road to WrestleMania is always, it's usually pretty fun to watch. Lately, it's been fun to watch. Last week, they turned a good corner. Like I said last week, I honestly think that, after the good, lockdown pay-per-view that TNA had, WWE, I don't know if they felt threatened, but I almost wonder if they paid attention to that. Because just the night after that was Raw, and it was Raw last week, and they really stepped up their game. Tonight, we knew that there wasn't going to be anything nearly as cool and fun to watch as the Yes Movement, the Occupy hijacking Raw last week was. But you just had a feeling that something fun was going to happen, especially after the CM Punk on Talking Dead episode last night, even though he didn't address it. With the CM Punk situation with Punk leaving WWE really has to step up their game to keep fans interested, because they could lose fans if Punk doesn't come back, and let's be honest, he's probably not coming back. So WWE knows that they have to step up their game to keep fans interested and to keep their minds off of CM Punk leaving. That being said, decent Raw. We'll see how bad Daniel Bryan's concussion and injuries, whether they're real or staged and scripted, are. SmackDown is going to be fun to watch. Main event tomorrow will be, obviously they tape SmackDown to main event. SmackDown right after main event goes off the air live. But with the Undertaker on main event tomorrow night, and then SmackDown Friday, with WrestleMania just 20 days away, things are looking good. Things are getting good, and it's just beginning. So sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. There's been a lot of comments on my CM Punk video from last night. Looks like you guys are very vocal in what you think about what I have to say, whether you agree with it or not. Thanks for the comments. Let's keep it somewhat positive. Try not to use too much foul language when you comment. But yeah, let's see what you have to say. What do you guys think about where WWE is going and how Raw was? Sound off.